Okay, so I'm going to start by sharing my screen. Um, okay, what time is it? Let's just see 1 second. I'm going to start in just 1 second. Okay, so good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. My name is Peggy Kurtz. Before we begin, I want to mention that we are recording this meeting, but we've set the settings so that you should not be visible in the meeting. So I'm here this evening to explain the Hudson Valley Community Power Program, a clean energy program that the town of Olive is exploring. I'm the community coordinator for Jewel Community Power, which is a division of Jewel Assets. Jewel is the program administrator for this program if the town moves ahead. The Hudson Valley Community Power Program is a community-based program that makes renewable electricity available at competitive rates. The program currently includes 12 municipalities in the Hudson Valley. Your town is exploring participation in this program, and if the town decides to participate, just admit somebody else, okay? The town decides to participate, the program would launch in the summer of 2025. So I'm going to start with a formal statement, and I'll explain it more as I go through the program. The town of Olive is exploring the option to participate in an upcoming bid for an electricity supply contract through the Hudson Valley Community Power Program. This program would provide eligible residents and small businesses with the benefits of renewable electricity supply at competitive rates. So this is just a quick overview of what I'll be covering this evening. I'll be talking about the type of program, which is called Community Choice Aggregation Program, some of the benefits, the role of Central Hudson with this program or any utility. We'll take a closer look at your bill, the enrollment process, some other logistics, and then I'll leave time for your questions. So the aim of the program is to make it easier for more people to access renewable electricity supply at competitive rates. And when we talk about renewable electricity, we're talking about electricity that is generated from hydropower, from dams, from already existing dams, or from wind power. A quick overview of some of the benefits. They include clean, renewable electricity, competitive rates, strong consumer protection, and more choice for consumers. None of your current choices go away. In fact, you will have additional choices. So the Hudson Valley Community Power Program is what's called a Community Choice Aggregation Program, or CCA for short. Essentially, with CCA programs, municipalities create a large buying group through which eligible residents and small businesses may participate and may purchase their electricity supply. These programs enable municipalities to leverage the buying power of that large group, usually thousands or even tens of thousands of households, to negotiate competitive rates for eligible residents and small businesses. If you move into the town of Olive today, Central Hudson will automatically be your electricity supply provider by default. This program shifts the choice of default supplier to your town so that your elected officials can make the choice that's right for your community. The town can select renewable electricity as the default electricity supply and do so at a competitive rate through the large buying group. CCA programs were authorized by the Public Service Commission in 2016, and they are regulated by the Public Service Commission today. In 2019, in response to climate change, New York State passed groundbreaking climate legislation, which mandates an unprecedented transformation of the state's electric grid. The electric grid must be powered 70% by legislation, must be powered 70% by renewable electricity by 2030. So that's just 5 years away. and it must be 100% carbon-free by 2040. Without local action, the state cannot meet these goals, which will ultimately help to protect our communities and our own families. The program we're discussing today helps communities take a major step in the direction of those goals for renewable electricity, and in fact, state regulators recognize CCA programs with renewable electricity as one of the most powerful climate actions a community can take. CCA is a growing movement across the country and in New York State. Municipalities have been participating in the Hudson Valley Community Power since 2019, and multiple municipalities are hoping to begin their fourth CCA contract this summer. Since the first contract in 2019, Hudson Valley Community Power has avoided 90,266 metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalents through the purchase of New York State renewable electricity. So let's talk about how this actually works for consumers. Central Hudson remains as your utility. In New York State, the utility no longer generates the electricity. The utility essentially has become the middleman, delivering the electricity to the consumer. What changes with CCA is the source of supply, all the way to the left on this slide. Instead of the utility purchasing electricity for you from power plants, the electricity is purchased through the CCA program with the option for renewable electricity. So Central Hudson continues to deliver electricity, repair and maintain the lines, and bill customers. They are still the ones to call in the event of power outages, which should be no more frequent than before. So you can see this same distinction between supply and delivery on your electric bill. If the town of Olive decides to participate in the program, let me show you how your electricity bill will look. This is page 2 of a Central Hudson bill. Within the electricity portion of your bill, there are 2 subsections. The delivery is at the top in the green box, and this portion does not change because Central Hudson continues to deliver your electricity. What does change is the supply portion of the bill in the red box at the bottom, or actually in the middle of page 2. That's where you will see changes if your municipality decides to participate and if you decide to participate in the program. So this is a bill for a participant in a past program. You can see in the red box, you see the name of the supplier at that time in this previous round, which was chosen in a bidding process. The supplier in this example was Direct Energy. That's where you'll see the name of the new supplier if your municipality moves forward with the program and if you decide to participate. Under the title of costs, a little bit lower in the red box, it says costs for electricity supply. There you will see the number of kilowatt hours. You see electric supply charge. Here it says 761 kilowatt hours. That was the number of kilowatt hours that household used in that particular billing period. And the rate was 6.361 cents per kilowatt hour at that time. And that came to a total of $48.41, which were the total supply charges, electricity supply charges before the sales tax. Both your delivery charges, which go to the utility, and your supply charges as part of the CCA program are calculated based on how much electricity you use, which is measured in kilowatt hours. So now let's talk about the enrollment process. Most Central Hudson customers are eligible to participate. CCA programs are what's called opt-out programs. That means that those who are eligible are automatically enrolled in the program after prior notification, but can opt out with no fees at any time. So, as I've said, most Central Hudson customers are eligible, and that includes both residents, that includes homeowners and renters that pay their own Central Hudson account bills, and small businesses. But there are some Central Hudson customers who will not receive the mailing that goes out to all eligible households because these categories that you see listed on the screen are considered not eligible. That includes customers who have already contracted with a third-party electricity supplier or ESCO or energy service company. Customers, a second category is those who have placed a block on their account. These are customers who ask the utility to ensure they are not enrolled in supply from third-party suppliers. HEAP recipients, those are Home Energy Assistance Program participants, time of use customers, and larger commercial customers with demand accounts. So we can talk about any of these categories in the Q&A if it applies to any of you and if you are interested in participating in the program. So I've mentioned a couple of times that eligible customers will receive a mailing with information about the program in advance of the program launching. That mailing will, and you can, eligible customers will be automatically enrolled in the default option for the town of Olive unless they opt out before the program begins. I'm just going to take a drink. The mailing will give you 3 easy ways to opt out if that is your preference. The first one is with a reply card that comes with a postage paid envelope in the mailing. You can also call the helpline, or you can do so through the online enrollment or unenrollment form. You can also change your option within the program if there is more than one option within the program for your town through the helpline or through the online enrollment form. Okay, so let's talk about the timeline. If the town of Olive decides to accept an electricity supply bid through the program, there will be another set of outreach meetings, more meetings and more outreach of other kinds by email, ads. We'll know at that time, we will know the program rate and the term, the length of the contract, and then a mailing goes out to all eligible households and small businesses. That packet will include the program rates, the benefits, terms and conditions, frequently asked questions, information about the additional information sessions. It will include information about how to opt out, including the reply card to opt out if that is your preference. This will be followed by a 30-day initial opt-out period. As I mentioned, we'll have additional events during that 30-day period, opt-out period. The difference between the initial opt-out period and opting out once the program begins is that once the 30-day period is over, if you have not opted out, you will automatically be moved into the program. And if you opt out during the opt-out period, you will not be enrolled in the program. If you opt out after the 30-day period, it will take 1 or 2 billing cycles to leave the program and return to supply from the utility. After the 30-day opt-out period, the program will launch, and then on your next bill after the launch date, if you are participating, you should see the name of the new supplier in the supply portion of your bill and the electricity supply rate in the program. Now I'm going to go quickly through some frequently asked questions and open it up for your questions. Does this program replace your utility company? No, you continue to pay your utility bill, and your utility remains responsible for delivery and maintenance of the electric grid and billing. Does this impact the reliability of your electricity? No, your utility continues to deliver your electricity and provides the same service whether you participate in the program or not. Will this program save you money? Savings are not guaranteed. When people ask us, will this program save me money? What they're really asking for is a comparison with utility rates, but utility rates change from month to month, and they're not posted ahead of time, so no one knows what the rates will be ahead of time. I'm sorry, I just want to back up a second. What if you want to change your supply choice? Once the program launches, you may call the helpline or fill out the enrollment change form on the website to change your supply selection, opt out or opt back into the program with no fees or penalties at any time. Can you participate if you have your own solar panels or if you participate in community solar or community hydropower? Yes, even if you use solar power or participate in community solar or hydropower, you are still required to have a supplier on your utility bill to cover any electricity not provided by your solar or hydropower. What happens when the program ends, when the contract ends? Your town may choose to renew participation in the program. If not, you will automatically switch back to Central Hudson, selecting your supply on your behalf. So I like to end with some of the benefits. There's the opportunity for at least 50% renewable electricity. Very often 100% is also an option. Competitive rates, strong consumer protection, no individual contracts, and no exit fees at any time. And now the last screen I'm going to show in the presentation is the contact information. For those, I'm going to read it for those who might be on a phone. You can always call the helpline Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. The number is 845-859-9099. If you can also call in the evening or on the weekend, just leave a message and we will call you back. You can email the program at info@hudsonvalleycommunitypower.com. You can also find information online at hudsonvalleycommunitypower.com. So now I am ready for your questions. And you can also put questions in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute to make sure I get questions in the chat. Okay, yes, the next session is, yes, is February 3rd. At, don't have the time. You're saying February at 6 p.m. I just have what I had written down as February 3rd. I think it's 6 p.m. sounds right to me, and that is in Town Hall. I know it's in the Town Hall, it's in the town meeting space. I'm sorry, I stand corrected, which I believe is 50 Bostock Road. Is that correct?
Yes.
I see nods for that. Okay, I'm only seeing a picture of the stream, not a bill. I'm not quite sure that I understand that. Okay, if we are enrolled with another electricity supplier and we want to join the CCA, first, how do we find out how to join? And second, does our ESCO get notified or do we have to cancel our service with them? Yes, you have to cancel your service with them if you decide that you want to participate. So you may want to compare rates. I don't know whether your current provider is with renewable energy, if that's important to you. You want to consider that. And then, of course, you want to consider whether or not there's an exit fee. So some ESCOs do charge exit fees and some do not. So you might want to, you should check on that. And then if you've decided, you've taken all those factors into account and you've decided that you do prefer to participate in the CCA program, then you need to either, depending on whether you want to exit right away or, if you want to wait because you have an exit fee, you tell them that you don't want it to roll over or you want to say that you want to end the program. And then you need to call us, call the helpline number and let us know that you have opted out of the other supply and you want to opt into the program. You will need, of course, you'll need your account number to do so. And the name on the account and obviously the service address. I thought that there were three options, standard, 50% or 100%. Okay, so we will be putting out an RFP for all three of those options. It's possible that we will not be able to offer the standard option within the program because of certain requirements that we would need to be able to meet certain requirements that we may not be able to meet. Lately, we've been able to offer, almost all of the towns and villages municipalities have been offering either 50% or 100% New York State renewable. And if you'd like, I can explain more about what that means. The difference between, it might be good for me to do that. Does the town decide on one of the three options? And I think I'm going to share my screen in a minute, and so that you can get a sense of the difference between 50% and 100%. Yes, the town is the one that makes the individual decision on what will be there will be one default option, either 50% or 100%. And the 50% is generally a little bit less expensive. I'm going to share my screen in a minute again and explain the difference between the two. And in almost all cases, I would say all of the municipalities participating right now, they offer a second option within the program. So if they choose 50%, they offer the option to opt up to 100% and the other way around. To 100%, if 100% is the default, then they offer the option to opt. They offer the second option of 50%, and you can opt down to the 50%. Of course, as I've said several times, you can always opt out of the program. What actually is the standard option? And then I'll share my screen to kind of explain the difference between 50% and 100. 50% mirrors the same mix of energy that your utility is currently offering. Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. Okay, so I'm going to read the screen because that's the most accurate explanation. So this is the difference between 50% New York State renewable and 100% New York State renewable. 50% New York State renewable option means that 50% of your electricity supply is matched by renewable energy certificates, or RECs, provided by New York State renewable power plants, meaning hydropower, wind, or solar. The remaining 50% is matched by RECs sourced from other U.S. renewable electricity sources that are not tracked or verified by the New York State Department of Public Service. The 50% renewable option is not counted as 100% renewable by New York State. The 100% New York State renewable option means that 100% of your electricity supply is matched by renewable energy certificates, or RECs, provided by New York State renewable power plants, hydropower, wind, or solar. So any questions about that? And I'm going to maybe stop sharing my screen so I can see the chat. Sorry. I'm going to go back. Okay. Any questions about the options? Then what is the standard versus 50 or 100? So the standard represents it is the same mix of energy as what the utility is offering to you. Sometimes we've been able to offer it at a less expensive rate within the program. But if we are not able to offer that at the utility rate with an adder of 5%, then we are not even permitted to offer it within the program. Now, when I say less expensive, it turns out to be less expensive because we don't know, when we don't know what the rates will be looking forward. We know what the rates have been in the past. Other questions? You should all be able to unmute yourselves.
Peggy, this is Drew. When could people expect to get that first mailing to explain the program?
That's a good question. I believe it would be, that's a good question, and feel like I really should know the answer to that. It's, I believe it'll be in the spring, but I'm not quite sure. I don't want to cite you a month because I'm not 100% sure. If you want, I can get you the answer to that.
Okay, thank you.
Do I have your email? Did you register?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So you
okay,
should have it.
so I'm glad to send you that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. It's just that I'm dealing with a number of different communities, so I don't want to cite the wrong date. But I know that they're looking to start in the summer. Okay, how will you know who can't get the option, the heap and third-party suppliers, or do you get it anyway? Okay, so that's a good question. So we get the information. When I say we get the information, really there's a very strong emphasis on security. The information is provided to the supplier who's selected in a bidding process, and that comes through the utility through Central Hudson, and they remove, or they should remove, any of the customers that are not considered, any of their customers who are considered not eligible. So again, that includes the HEAP recipients, the Central Hudson customers who are contracted with a third-party supplier, time of use customers, and demand accounts with the larger commercial accounts. So no, you should not so if you're in a third-party supply contract, you will not get the mailing. So then the question comes, I'm guessing that you're thinking, how will you know what the rates are, and how will you know when the program is set to begin to launch? And that's a good question. I mean, you can opt out of your current supplier ahead of time to be included in the program, or you could, I believe there is an email list for the town of Olive, so you could ensure that you're on that list so that you will get notification from the town when the program is about to start up. Can we get a presentation, a copy of the presentation? Yes, I believe a copy of the presentation will be posted to the website, to the web page for the town program. And I believe that should be, yes, that is, it will be posted to the Hudson Valley, I believe, to the Hudson Valley Community Power Program. I'm just sitting here thinking whether there's a separate web page for the program. Just give me a second and I'll try to check that. Are there other questions while I'm in the process of doing that? Okay, so the answer that I gave you was correct. It is, it will be posted to the Hudson Valley Community Power webpage. Can I send it to the town or for the clerk to post on the town website? I would think so. I can't see a problem with that, but you know, I would think that would be okay. I can't answer definitively, but I can't see a problem with that. No, I'll make a note of that so the two questions that I have to answer. And okay. Okay. Any other questions you want to post in the chat or ask out loud? David or Dan, did you want to speak?
I think it's very clear, and I'm hoping everybody who's on the call understands it. And if you have further questions, ask.
Yeah, please.
ask them now, or ask the town board or the Conservation Advisory Council, and you can find us on the website, on the town website.
Okay.
You all know how to find me.
Okay. That sounds like the voice of experience. Um, yeah, and I will be presenting again on February 3rd at 6 o'clock in the town meeting space on Bostek Road. And that will also be online. So again, you can come out or you can attend online.
Yeah, just as a reminder, the Conservation Advisory Council and the town board will be making a decision, I believe at the end of February, or the beginning of March, when the rates are not quite set in stone, but when the rates are well known, and then the town board will decide whether to go ahead or to not go ahead. And you'll get lots of, if the town board decides to go ahead, then the mailing will go out.
Right, that's correct. That's correct. If the board decides not to move ahead, then then of course you won't get the mailing. And it also happens sometimes that Jewel recommends not to move ahead because they feel that the rates are not beneficial at this time, and they recommend to wait, and then they come back, with another set of bids at a later date. So if there's no further questions, maybe we'll wrap up for this evening. But again, we're always glad to answer questions. Would anybody, again, the contact information is 845-859-9099, and the email is info@hudsonvalleycommunitypower.com. So you can email or call, and you can ask to speak to me or ask to speak to anybody on the helpline, and everybody's very knowledgeable. We're all in the Hudson Valley, and so I don't know, we're not local in the sense of being local to Olive, but we are in the Hudson Valley. So thank you very much. Thank you for joining me this evening, and I hope it was helpful.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Peggy.
Peggy.
Thank you, Peggy.
Yeah,
That
sure.
it was very clear. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, folks.